You know, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has dismissed concerns that the technical downtime experienced with its results viewing portal, that's the IREV we just talked about, in the penultimate Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections impacted negatively on the functionality of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. As far as INEC is concerned, both technologies are almost mutually exclusive. Perhaps the only point of convergence where they meet is the issue of the BVAS transmitting election results at the end of polls. And it begs the question, Jide, are Nigerians ever trusting of anything at all?
You know, during the Second Republic, politicians having lost the election were the ones calling the military to come and take over. Politicians have a history of inviting the military to come and take over once they've lost the election. Terribly bad losers.
Oh, yeah.
It flows in the blood of a lot of these politicians, devious individuals.
I no go agree.
They know, no. Somebody well beaten is bloodied in the mouth, is gasping for breath. But just like a wrestler, almost at the point of death, holding on to your legs, but refusing to surrender.
To concede.
That's the way they are. They won't tell you. And you know, some of it is not because for some of them, it's people outside who will say, no, don't give up. No, don't agree. They prefer to spend all that money on lawyers. You've been well beaten. Thank God. Wait for another
next
time.
Yeah.
After all, a certain Abraham Lincoln, the 15th president of the U.S., you know how many times he contested? He believed that one day he will win. The Nigerian politician thinks that even if it's his first election, he must win.
Yeah.
He thinks he must win. And when he doesn't win, because he has seen the judiciary give judgment to unlikely politicians, he thinks that the judiciary could give what does not belong to him. So you see him, rather than spend his money on productive things, he will rather go and waste it on lawyers.
Yeah.
So those lawyers will tell, no, you can win. Lawyers will even go against rationality sometimes to file frivolous cases before the courts. And at the end of the day, he will waste his time. He will still not win. Bad losers dominate the tribe of Nigerian politicians. This is what I see. Some of them, when you even advise them that just accept it, you cannot, this is a waste of time. They will not listen.
You're considered a bad man.
So now this is the same thing we are seeing, an attempt to bring down the roof, make it look like the exercise we had the last time was the worst in our history. And they are not looking at some of the salient facts that came out of this election.
Yeah.
The loss by 20 governors of their states. They are not looking at
enough.
it. No, they are not interested.
Enough.
And all parties were affected. PDP lost a good number of its states. Look at what happened in Delta. Look at what happened in Delta. See the way Okoa. See what they did to him. See what happened even in the Northwest that the APC used to dominate. See how many states they lost. They lost Kaduna. People didn't see that coming. They lost Katsina. People didn't see that coming. But that's the beauty of democracy for you, that the people, you think that you've worked for the people, they are not impressed by your work, and they have a chance to say, yes, we don't want you.
Adekunle, thankfully, I seem to agree with the late Professor Chinua Achebe. There was a country. There was a time when politics was appealing to young boys of the time. You know, the time of the Mbadiwes, the Awolows, and so on. But that our politics had descended gravely to this stage is benumbing.
Even during the Awolows, politics was not perfect. And,
but it was not this volatile.
And the politicians of that era too were not saints. You get my point? At least we witnessed some part of it. The politicians of that era were also not saints. But if you say we are plummeted to a terribly low
Yeah.
But I think I will agree. And I will agree with that. But when you look at our politicians today, who talks about Jonathan? Today, it should be a model. He was always talking about it, that my ambition is not worth the life or blood of any Nigerian.
That's it. Yes. That's it.
But unlike most politicians in Nigeria who will say great things and do the evil things, Jonathan walked the talk. He didn't
In fact, he said on election day, they were sending him evidence of rigging in some places. But that he just felt, look,
Did it really matter?
Underage voting and others, they were sending it to him. They didn't want him to concede.
So what he considered, he didn't even let them finish the tabulation. He said, come on, took his phone, called Buhari and
congratulated him.
And left the space. And he didn't go to any tribunal. You get my point? I've met big guys in the political space. Reasons they go to the tribunal, they said to keep the party supporters, intact. I said, you don't mean it? They said it's one of the major reasons that most times they know that they have lost. But if they, let party supporters
to give them hope.
That the reason that you have to wait till 4 years, that immediately majority of them will, take the backs, they will run away.
And it's so crazy that this is the time where politics has become a full-time venture in Nigeria.
That is what it is now. So you now realize that most of them, including those who lost, who lost fair and square, that nobody rigged them out. They knew in their heart that they lost. But they will come up with frivolous excuses and they will say, we're going to court, we will retrieve our mandate, they will be rubbishing the winner. So when are we going to be Democrats? Because in the true sense of that word, I have never seen, I don't know of people I can see as Democrats in our space here.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants to win, and every loser is not.
It's like
so now we have a Jonathan that nobody is talking about.
All right, Adekunle, we must take. Patrick is reaching us from Port Harcourt. Pat, good evening to you. How are you?
Good evening.
Welcome.
Good evening. Yeah.
Let's
Honestly,
go.
Babajide, you are a man most people are looking up to, and I expect you to be very objective when you are making your analysis, so that you don't lose your fan. The mood of the nation is tense, not because of the election. People are not complaining who lost or whether they are bad losers. Whether the whole governors in Nigeria lost. Hear what Peter Obi said. He that must answer His Excellency must ride on the pride of excellence.
Let's listen to him.
Yeah.
Let me hear what he has to say.
Pat, are you there?
Patrick,
okay.
I'm listening.
Lost in Lagos. Then one in Rivers that I am. Where people went under the rain and all manner of things. The process is faulty, lacking credibility, lacking fairness, lacking transparency. We have to face the truth. That's what people are talking about.
Is it everywhere? Oh, listen, Patrick, is it everywhere that...
we're not saying everywhere. We're saying transparency.
Is it in the majority of the polling centers?
Listen, you are the same person talking about senators, House of Rep, and whatever. They transmitted the results. Why was it finding it difficult to transmit? You won't even allow me to make my point. Why were they finding it difficult to transmit presidential results? That's what people are saying.
Okay.
Why didn't you complete the exercise so that people can now see? See, they said they taught us in law. Justice should not just be done.
Yeah. Patrick, you have made your point. You have made your point. Jide, but again, he's entitled to his opinion. But again, people must also talk about a freedom of thought, not just a freedom of expression. Are we thinking?
Even for a lot of them, as far as they are concerned, when I say that they should not rubbish the entire process, they've come to the conclusion that I'm biased. You see, one-track reasoning, that, it means that is biased. And I asked the question, I said, are you saying, when you are saying the process was fraught with irregularity, I said, across the country, the people in the north, for example, those numerous states in the north, there are more states in the north than the south. How come we are not hearing all of these complaints from that side? It means the people defeated there have already accepted it, that yes, they were well defeated. You cannot, because of some things that happened in Rivers or that happened in Lagos, then give us the feeling that the whole exercise was bad. It doesn't matter if I'm the only one saying this. I'm not in a popularity competition. People tell me, Jide, you lose your fans. Oh, so as long as I know that I'm on the side of the truth, this is the way I do my things. When Magu had this problem, I was literally the only person supporting him. Everybody abandoned me. Says, yeah, you are putting your image on the line.
Yeah.
But I knew the man was not guilty, and I've been vindicated. So this is the thing. Nobody is saying there was no irregularities. If you listen to me, I said people were being intimidated and stopped from voting. Is that not irregularity? Have I not admitted that it happened in many places?
It did.
So, but you cannot rubbish our election just because of the matter of transmission. And this transmission that we are talking about, it is still something that is manually filled that you transmit. Maybe now, they have uploaded more than 90% of the results. Now, people will be able to see where there are, where what came from the polling centers contradicted what was uploaded.
Eventually, yeah.
And then in court, they can take such matters before the court and say, see, we scored so here, but this is what was from uploaded. And the courts will do justice. So this is the thing. We don't need to heat up the polity because we had irregularities in a few places. And we never agree with anyone who wants me to believe that this whole election was characterized by just because you have issues in Port Harcourt or you have issues in Lagos. No.
Kunle, you know, our politicians, even the last caller will agree, have become Machiavellian, you know, win by all and every.
Let me quickly add something before it says, you know, Labour Party supporters have been saying he won 19 states. Dubawa is a company that exposes fake news. Dubawa came out yesterday to say, no, you didn't win 19 states. Because if it goes on like that, everybody will start saying, Labour actually won 19 states, but they were robbed. Dubawa, and if you Google, you will see they come out to say, no, Labour Party, you didn't win 19 states.
All right then. Well, welcome back. Adekunle, I was going to come to you. Let me come to you now. Okay. Robert Greene's 48 laws of power will come in handy here. The first law is Oga na King.
No, number one.
Number 2 is defer to Oga. Number 3 is don't show your hand too soon, if you look at the law. The Nigerian politician has become Machiavellian, as I was going to say. And this is not good for our democracy. Nearly 63 years after independence.
You see, the perks of office should also be, because
scaled down.
Indeed, scaled down. The Nigerian politician, believes he can only make it in life if he goes in there. The moment he's out of power, the atmosphere out there is very, very cold. You understand me?
Very
very unfriendly. So when you see the life of people that go into politics, whether at appointive or elective, level, you will know why are they always, why do they always run mad whenever a result of elections are announced? So you will know that they always want to rig and win by all means.
And every means.
And they believe the best rigger, is the winner.
And truth is,
and when they want to do this, they compromise. As we are working towards, election. Some people are already thinking beyond the election. Thinking about how they the lawyers they will use, how to compromise the judiciary, the security agency, the everything, including the civil society organizations. So when you look at them very well, what is driving them this mad? You know that what is in there. But if you make our public office less attractive, people want to render service. Maybe for such people, those who are in there now, it is self-service.
Yeah.
They just whip it,
number one.
whip it around.
In a country where politicians would rather not pay 20,000 naira to a retiree, but pay themselves hundreds of millions of
millions
and pay their talks.
And make the talks perpetually
subservient to them.
Yes, happy, because those are their foot soldiers.
Yeah.
So when you look at Nigeria, for us to develop, during the Awolowo era that you talked about that time, was public office this attractive? Just take, for example, what we normally call security vote, or what we call it. That's a lot. But beyond that, there are other perks of office.
Jide, I'm sure we remember the 12 2/3 saga. Chief Awolowo moved on. Dr. Azikiwe moved on.
Yes, he lost the election, but the Ulabalu.
Sour taste in the mouth.
Yes, the Ulabalu. I think it occurred to Awo that even if they went to Electoral College, they would still have lost because Shagari had more states, than him. So in Electoral College, he would still have won if we had used that option at that time. So the Hulabalu did not last so long. The man admitted, the man accepted.
Because the survival of the country was bigger than...
Yes, of course. These were
any politician winning or losing.
They fought for our independence and they would not want to bring down the roof. But where people are claiming states that they didn't win, that in their hearts they knew they didn't win, just to fan the embers of discord and all that, is just unnecessary. What is important is for our elections to be credible, to reflect the wish of the people.
Because we're overdue for that.
Yes.
So we must go. We must go. Adekule, many thanks for coming.
Yes, I want Nigerian politicians to be more patriotic. Nigeria is bigger than anybody.
Jide, this job will put you on the line of fire. So
they said he's losing his fans. Will you borrow me some fans?
Oh, come on.
They also said nobody is watching TVC anymore. Nobody is watching journalists Hangout anymore.
Because of
But within a few days, during this electoral season, we got 9.3 million YouTube views.
All right.
Journalist Hangout.
Sorry.
Hold on, let me rub it in. Journalist Hangout is actually having more viewers online now than at any time in its history. And the facts are verifiable.